morning, everyone. So today I'm here to discuss some important points and a topic of friction. First of all, that is fluid friction. Before starting my discussion, just understand that what are fluids. From fluids, from its name, it's very clear that fluid means which have the ability to flow. It's mentioned here liquid. It's mentioned here friction due to liquids and gases. So there are two fluids out of solid, liquid and gases. We are having two fluids. One is liquid and gases. So why they are known as fluids? Because they have the ability to flow on their own. You might have observed if you throw water on the floor, then after a few minutes you can see that the water will travel on its own, right? And then if I talk about gases, if I burn a incense stick here or burning paper, then the smoke will produce, and you will observe that after some time the smoke will travel from this place to another. So that means they have the ability to flow, right? So these substances, the kind of matter which have the ability to flow, are known as fluids, right? And if they are existing as a fluid, that means they might be offering some resistance, they might be opposing the motion of the objects also. So that friction that is produced by the fluid, that is known as fluid friction.
Liquids and gases.
You can see here the person is swimming. While swimming, what he used to do, that swimmer has to push the water in the backward direction, and then he will get the force in the forward direction, right? With the hands and with the leg. Those might be better understanding, those who know swimming. So you can see here the friction is acting in the opposite direction. He is applying the force in the forward direction, right? So that means he has to apply the force. Why? Because the friction is provided by the water. That's why he is applying the force. If it will not provide the friction, then there is no need for the force, right? So that is fluid friction, friction by liquids. So how we can get rid of this? How we can get the solution for this? You might have seen the very smooth swimming by the fishes. So why they are able to swim very smoothly? Because of streamlined body. This shape, that shape is known as streamline. You can see that portion is having very less area than the area is more. So that means that is known as streamline shape, streamline body. In class 7, you might have discussed about the characteristics of the aquatic organisms when we discuss habitat. So these animals, aquatic animals, are having streamline shape because it is very helpful to protect them from the friction. Same way, ships and boats, you might have observed their shape is like streamline due to this reason.
Friction due to air.
Right? Can you switch off your cameras, Arav and Abhinav? Thank you. Now, same way as the liquids are providing the friction, same way the gases are also providing friction. As compared to liquids, the friction provided by the gases, the friction due to air is very less, right? So that's why we are able to move very easily. Avnish, switch off your camera. Right? Then air is providing the friction also. But friction provided by the air is very less as compared to liquids. So that's why we are moving in air. We are walking on the road. That means air is everywhere. So that friction is very less. That's why there is no need to apply some extra force. So best example of friction is burning material. In the next chapter, stars and solar system, that is chapter number 17. We will discuss about meteor. Meteors, you might have seen the burning stars. Sometimes you can see some flashy objects in the sky in the late night. So what are these? Why are they produced? They are produced due to friction. These are the stones, meteors are the stones, heavy stones. They are falling towards the Earth's surface. When they enter in the Earth's atmosphere, then due to air provides them the friction, and due to this friction, they catches fire. Right? They catch fire because of friction. So you can see here the substance is entering and then catching fire due to friction. Right? Because of friction, the objects are catching fire like meteors. So that is, it shows that the air is having friction. So this is why you might have seen the streamline shape of the aeroplanes that is provided to have very less impact of friction, right? Because of this, it will have very less impact of friction. That is fluid friction. Now, very important thing I would like to discuss with you that on what factors the fluid friction depends. First of all, the fluid friction depends upon the speed of the object, right? And secondly, the viscosity. Viscosity is a very new term. Viscous means heaviness. Like if we are, for example, a person is swimming in the waters, plain water, then he has to apply the force that I have discussed with you. But if I will add some salts, some minerals to the water to make it more viscous, means to increase the density of that water, then that person has to apply more force, right? So that means it depends upon the speed of the object and the nature of the liquid, that whether it's a high density is high or less, right? So these are the two major factors on which this fluid friction depends. And the next is the shape of the objects. That's why they are provided with a streamlined shape so that it will help them to move smoothly in the air as well as in water. So this is the reason, right? So that was the topic I would like to discuss with you. So